And now, the Miles Beyond 300 Roadshow, presented by Mitas Tires. Here's your host, Miles Krieger.
Myself and many folks trying to help bring this to Bowling Green. No better place to have a live audience and to do some interviews and try to raise a little bit more awareness about the sport of pulling than right here at Bowling Green. We have moved from where we were last year outside on the north side on a flat stage. This year we are here under the grandstand of the hallowed grounds of the south side bleachers of Bowling Green, and they have moved all of the nostalgia pulling and the museum right in here next to us. So we're sitting right next to the Bossy Project. We're sitting right next to the City Slicker and several of these tractors from the history of the sport, and it's certainly an honor to be able to be right here. I would be remiss if I did not say that I could not do this without our sponsors and the people that are supporting me. First of all, Mitas Tires. They have been fantastic in coming on board with Miles Beyond 300 this year as the presenting sponsor. Motor City Wraps, and you're going to get to learn a little bit more about Nick Zook here shortly, as he'll be up wrapping a helmet that we're going to donate to the Make-A-Wish auction. Several other presenting sponsors will be on board over the course of the weekend, and we'll talk about them, but I don't want to waste any more time. I have a gentleman sitting directly to my right who I am honored to have here as part of the Roadshow and kick things off with, and Larry Kester. Welcome to Bowling Green, Ohio, sir, and welcome to the Roadshow.
Thank you, Miles. It's great that you're doing what you're doing. I know you've spent a lot of time and probably haven't got near as much attention as you should have for what you do, because you truly put your heart into your work.
Well, tell me, I know it's been a very busy day for you already today. The alarm had to go off around 5:30 for you to get ready for some of the demands of working with the media. What's your day been like so far here at Bowling Green?
Well, you know, I guess, yes, it did start real early. We was up and had to do a little thing for television at 6:30 this morning, but it was an honor to do it because it was with a little Make-A-Wish kid, and for me to come to Bowling Green, which is the biggest pull in the world, is awesome just to be here, but to be involved with the Make-A-Wish Foundation and to represent the pullers, it's just an honor for me to even get to do that.
Absolutely, and I know you've put your heart and soul into Make-A-Wish. That's one of the things that you've done over the last probably 15, 20 years here at Bowling Green, and over the course of the next 2 days, we'll talk a lot about trying to raise some awareness about those young kids and try to raise some dollars for them. I know last year we were around $75,000. We're hoping to top that again, but you know, over the course of this week, you've been here. What does it mean to roll into the Wood County Fairgrounds and be here at Bowling Green, Ohio?
You know, it's amazing. We've been here since, I think my first pull here was 1988, and we've been here every year since. And it's so neat. I'll be out grinding tires pretty close to the fence out there, and there's people that'll be driving by honking, you know, on Sunday or Monday when we get here, you know, and just the recognition that you get over a period of years for being here. And you know, it's kind of like, I don't know what would be equal to a Daytona 500. You know, it's that big or bigger to the pulling world.
Well, you have you've worked very hard as well to work in branding Kester Racing and working as well to represent not just a company, but you know, Fortune 500 type companies that you've brought to the sport of pulling. What does it mean to you to represent Shell and previously Pennzoil and bring them with you, not just as a sponsor, but they're also here activating at this pull. They have their My Miles Matter trailer. They brought the people here that are cooking. You guys have been on display. What does it mean to represent a brand like Shell?
You know, total honor. You know, if you think of Eddie Hill, he was Pennzoil. We were with Pennzoil. You know, all the way back to when Dale Earnhardt had Pennzoil, we was with Pennzoil. So, It's went. Shell owns Pennzoil and Quaker State. It's unique because my dad ran Shell Oil in our trucks way back in the 70s. So it's a brand that I know all about. I've been involved with it my whole life. The people are awesome to work with. They've taken us to places that we never thought we could be. We go all over the United States and do displays for them. We get to meet so many neat people, but the product, it speaks for itself. It's number one brand on the market. But for the most part, they're caring people. They care about people. They're putting money into the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They're putting money into what we do to help people. They've done a video to help people about some of the things that we went through. They are truly concerned with people's well-being, and they love the child, the family aspect of tractor pulling, which, some sports don't get quite so much family. We love all the sports. All the motorsports are great, but for tractor pulling really brings family, and for us, we have our whole family's involved in the sport, and Shell's the only reason that's happened.
Well, and I want to talk a little bit as well. I have two more questions for you. The next question comes with what has been going on in Wadesville, Indiana over the course of the last few years. Your son went to Vincennes in Vincennes, Indiana. He studied tool and die. He apprenticed with Tim Engler, legendary puller, of course. But he's really kind of taken a turn and started to really focus on high-performance racing engines, and he's become very, very respected in the sport. What does it mean to you to have Adam as that guy right there in your pocket, and then also for him to be working for Bob Miner?
When you're raising your kids, all you want them to be is good. You want them to do well. Both my kids, Ashley's exceeded all my expectations. Adam is just blowing me out of the water with his knowledge. We were lucky enough for him to have worked for Tim Engler and another engine builder in Evansville. But he's learned from the old motors all the way up to the new motors. He's talented in so many ways. Bob Miner came along from California and watched Adam and watched him, and over a period of years picked him out of a big array of guys that could have possibly worked for Bob Miner. And he's shipping parts from California to St. Wendell, Indiana, our shop, and Adam is the Midwest version of Bob Miner. So we've got a lot of motors out, and it's really great to have somebody that when you have a problem is right there, like you said, in your back pocket, because we can tear some stuff up.
Absolutely, and that'll lead to my final question. I'm familiar with where you live. One of my favorite places to go in that area is the Silver Bell, just up the hill from your house. But for those folks that don't know, and for the area that you're in, what do the people of Wadesville or St. Wendell think about you guys when they see the Kester Racing rig roll in and roll out, and at 11 o'clock at night there might be a Hemi motor fired right there at the shop?
We try to keep them. We try to keep them aware that we are around, so we'll start the motors at 10 or 11 o'clock at night just to kind of keep them woke up. But no, it's a beautiful little town. It's one of these towns where people wave at you as you pass them on the street, and I was just lucky enough to be raised there, because when I got hurt, they came out and supported me. The whole town was out on the street, yellow ribbons on every post, all the way to my house for 3 miles, 4 miles. It's every small town in the United States, and it's amazing that people care enough to take, to put us where we're at. Your dad and you guys have been out our way, and we was honored to be your dad, who I love my whole life. Seems like my singing partner. But No, it's just been a great ride. I just hope I can keep doing it.
Well, folks, I'm going to let him get back to the Cheryl Telecamp. I know you guys are busy getting ready for tonight. Larry, I couldn't have started the show off without you, sir. Thank you for being here. I'm going to bring Nick in here, and we'll talk a little bit about Kester Racing. Please, let's give him a nice round of applause. I appreciate it very much. They did donate some shirts for the course of the weekend. We're going to be passing out door prizes. If you haven't signed up for a door prize, please sign up back there. My lovely mother's sitting at a table back there. Put your pink ticket in the basket. Make sure you sign up. We're going to do door prizes here shortly. Of course, throughout the course of this session, we'll draw a few. You can keep your ticket in, but you will have to be present to win. And Larry, again, thank you very much. And I don't know if Toby's around or if you need me to help you or what exactly you might need for you to be able to jump on the rig and go.
Miles, the sport really appreciates what you're doing. We just all want you to know that.
Thank you very much, sir. Again, give Larry Kester a nice round of applause, and certainly appreciate him being a part of the Roadshow here with us this morning. At this time, I'm going to bring up a buddy of mine, also a big, strong supporter of Miles Beyond 300. He's going to be kind of working directly off the side of the stage. He's from Motor City Wraps out of the Detroit area. His name is Nick Zook. And Nick, certainly, it's such an honor to have you here with me. Thank you for your support of not only the Roadshow, the website, but also in donating the time that you're doing and putting this helmet together. We've got a new helmet we're working on. It's going to go to the Make-A-Wish auction. This is certainly something that pullers can purchase. But let's talk a little bit about Motor City Wraps and what you're doing here with us this afternoon, this morning.
Sure, no problem, Miles. It's hard to believe that it's been 1 year since we did this. We're back at it. In that past 1 year, guys, what we've done is we've stepped our game up in the pulling industry. We've been to a lot of race shops. We've met a lot of interesting folks. We've done a lot of cool trucks and tractors. What we're going to do here, though, is on the Make-A-Wish, I actually started on it. We're going to take this basic white helmet that we see here on the counter, and what I do is I basically prep it, disassemble it, get it ready to go, and then I actually have a printed out design that we're going to go ahead and wrap. Last year, I heard this helmet fetched over $2,500.
$3,000. Our Make-A-Wish helmet took $3,000. Bruce Slaw, puller in the mini modified division, purchased it on Saturday at the Make-A-Wish auction, and this helmet will go straight there, donated from you and I, and hopefully we can top it. I'm going to see if we can't challenge some more pullers to get over there and bid on it.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, hopefully this one gets for a little bit more money, but one of the things I wanted to mention, though, is with this year being the 49th anniversary for the truck and tractor pull here, I'm going to go ahead and donate 4 $900 gift certificates usable for trucks, tractors, gators, whatever, and they are for a truck and tractor puller, and you're more than welcome to go ahead and sign up and win them.
Yeah, I'm going to have to work that out with my mother. We'll probably change and get a different ticket here and have all the pullers sign those. I'll make sure the pullers are aware to stop by and do that. That's fantastic of you doing that. And you brought it up 49 years here as part of Bowling Green's history. And next year, of course, we're prepping for number 50. So certainly we're really building up on that. And we're glad that you're here with us as you get ready to continue to work on this helmet.
No problem, Miles. I'll check back in at the end of the show, and hopefully we'll have the helmet completed. Everybody can go ahead and see it.
Thanks a lot very much. I appreciate that. And please, folks, like I said, if you want to learn more about what Nick is doing, you can go to his website and learn more about Motor City Wraps. We've got another great person here with us from within the sport. We're going to try to bring him up and let him talk with me a little bit. NTPA champion, defending champion here from 2014 in our diesel superstock tractor category. Folks, let's welcome him in from Lynn, Indiana. We're going to bring Steve Burge and the Lock and Load International driver of the stage here with me today. And Steve, wow. Thanks for being here with me this morning. Also, congratulations on 2014 and taking home that title with you. Here we go. There you go.
It was a really good year for us in 2014. Things came together and we had a lot of fun, a lot of success, and was able to win the points title. And it was a lot of work, but a lot of fun, and everybody strives in your career to win those things.
Well, you're working on claiming another one. You're in a hot points race right now. You guys are very, very strong throughout this season. What are you attributing the success that you've found? You guys have figured something out. you've got a comfort zone that you're running in right now with the tractor, and you're tallying up those results. I know in the article that I wrote about you earlier in the year, you told me that you had equaled almost your career total in wins last season over your whole career. So let's talk a little bit about the success you've been able to generate with Lock and Load.
We built a new chassis a couple years ago and made some tire changes and some engine horsepower changes, and I guess all the years of perseverance has paid off, that we paid attention to tracks and paid attention to a lot of detail, and finally able to put all those details together on the same page and make it work for us better and become really consistent. You know, we became a pretty good threat in the class, and we've done really well. And you never know over the winter whether you're going to come out and do that again or not. It's hard to back those things up because everybody else wants to back them up too. So we've been really fortunate to come out and have another strong, successful season and have the 10-point lead we have coming into this weekend.
Absolutely, and you guys have a unique team dynamic. It's very different than what you might find in typically watching a husband and a wife, or brothers, father, son, the whole 9 yards. Your team consists of 3 close friends, yourself and 2 other gentlemen that formed this combination from right there near your area. You guys bought the tractor together, you worked together. Let's talk a little bit about what I refer to as the tripod effect, or the three entities that come together, and just how important each one of you are. You're the guy in the seat, but between your teammates, a lot happens, of course.
Yeah, we all grew up together, went to high school together. We're always close friends through high school, and we lived together as everybody went off and done their college stints and everything and came back together. And we still were great friends after that period had ended, and everybody's gotten married and went their family ways, but we've all stayed really close and really tight as friends. And got married, I moved away a little bit farther from them. John and Butch still live pretty close together and kind of in their respective home places. And we've always grown together to be a family, I guess, as much as just 3 friends. We interact together a lot in the off season. We do a lot together, spend a lot of time together, and it's rarely do we ever disagree to any point that it creates any bad feelings. We all disagree and walk away the next day. It's all great and dandy. So everybody has their roles. Butch does a lot of behind the scenes stuff and takes care of all that kind of stuff. He watches the tracks, keeps all the stats, and does all that. John's usually always in weights and helps on motor work and all that stuff in the shop all the time. And I do some driving for it, but John's driven too, and so it really works out. Everybody has a role. Everybody's important. We travel a lot of miles, work a lot of late nights, so everybody's got to take their turn at driving and getting a couple hours sleep so we can get there and moving on to the next spot. So it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort from everybody to make it work.
Absolutely, and by profession, you are a supervisor, a maintenance supervisor for the local school corporation. Let's talk just a little bit about what you do and how many vehicles you have to maintain over the course of the school year.
I work for a school corporation. It's about a 1,400 kid school corporation. I'm a maintenance and transportation director there, so I oversee buildings and grounds as well as buses. So we have about 25 buses that we maintain, take care of, and a bunch of corporate vehicles, and then oversee buildings and grounds as well to make sure that everything's good around there. I work year round there. Everybody always thinks that I just work during the school year and have the summer off and how great that is for pulling, but we're actually busier during the summer trying to get everything fixed and rebuilt before the kids come back. So I'm very fortunate that I've been there long enough that vacation's easy to get away, and it makes pulling a little easier when you can get away to go.
Absolutely, and I just have one more question for you. I tend to want to ask this question always when we talk to folks on the stage here. Tell me about your hometown. What do the people in the area think about the fact that there's now a Grand National champion in their midst? Are they aware of it? Do they know that you guys are out representing the community? Or is it just kind of you roll in late and you roll out early?
Everybody knows that everywhere you go, everybody's always asking how you're doing. And it's amazing how many people watch the RFD TV show and say, well, I saw you on TV and wow, you did. And when you stop at the gas station, everybody always wants to know where you're going, how you're doing, how you've been, and how things have went. And everybody's aware that we've had great success and that we do it every weekend and we travel. It's always the question of it's always kind of a joke in our class with us because we seem to be the one that live the closest, but we're always the last ones to leave. So we're kind of the work all day on Thursday, and we'll leave late on Thursday night, travel all night. And the rest of them all think, they leave on a day earlier and get there, and we roll in the middle of the night and out in the middle of the night, and away we go. So it's kind of a funny dynamic we have.
Absolutely. Well, I wish you the best, of course, in pursuit of winning the coveted ring. Of course, you have one of those from being here at Bowling Green. Hopefully, you're on your way to that second championship. You're fighting for it, and certainly that stops right here, and taking a ring home wouldn't hurt anything, I imagine.
No, if we can stay in front and keep our points lead and get our setups right and come out of here with a little bit of a lead still, that'll leave 3 hooks left on our class series, and it would sure help to maintain that lead and not let them get any closer to be able to win that second championship. It's difficult to do.
All right, folks. Well, will you please give me your applause and help Steve. Thank you so much for your time, sir. We wish you the best, and you get ready to competition this evening with the Lock and Load International.
Thanks, Miles, and thanks for all you do for the sport and the METOS sponsorship and the helmets and everything everybody does. It makes a lot of help for everybody, even us, just to keep the sport going and keep people informed of what we do and bring new people on board all the time.
I appreciate that very much. Yeah, we couldn't do it without the sponsors and their support. Again, if you have not signed up for a door prize, make your way back and fill out your name on a ticket, throw it in the basket. We're going to give away a few door prizes here very shortly. Thank you again, Steve, so very much. We wish you the best of luck. And like I said, these big heads that you see sitting right up here in the front of me, of course I have those. We'll try to get a little bit more fan interaction and involvement in the crowd. And as we do a little bit more throughout the weekend, you'll hear about those and see those in the crowd as well. But those were made by a friend of mine, Tad Feiss, and his business out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, Brain Bucket Graphics. So if you want to check out getting some big heads made, he's certainly a guy who can get that done for you. All right, and again, and we thank you so much. At this time, I'm going to bring the guy who helped me up so much with the sponsorship and the support. He's actually the guy who has helped bring METOS tires to Miles Beyond 300. He's helping to bring METOS tires back into the sport of pulling here. Of course, an agricultural tire in history, but a little bit more coming forward in terms of the sport of pulling, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about that. Bryce Howe, come join me, please, buddy. And I know you've been here before, but welcome to Bowling Green. It's good to have you here with me.
Yeah, pretty excited. I've been here quite a bit in the past as far as family things, but it's pretty cool to get to be here with you and support METOS and support Miles Beyond 300. So we're pretty excited.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk first and foremost a little bit about the history of METOS and where everything has really developed, of course, in the agricultural business. Let's talk a little bit about METOS and the history before we talk about this real pretty tire sitting to our right.
METOS is an agricultural tire manufacturer based in the Czech Republic. A lot of people think that we haven't been around very long or anything like that. We actually started in 1932, and in the Czech Republic, when we made our mainstay here in the U.S. market as we acquired the Continental Ag line in 2004. So since 2004, anything that has the Continental name on the agricultural side of things is essentially a METOS tire, just a different name on it. And then in 2012, we built our plant in Charles City, Iowa. So essentially about 85-90% of the tires that we sell here and supply to our OE manufacturers, be it John Deere, Case, New Holland, and
So absolutely, and you guys do a lot within the agricultural division. You guys are getting ready to start to travel more and more. It's farm progress time. It's a lot of different farm shows and agricultural shows. You get to get out and interact with those folks, of course, but you've really transitioned here, not transitioned, but sort of broadened your spectrum in coming into the sport of pulling. And let's talk a little bit about what may have inspired the idea of stepping into this niche. It's certainly something that's different. You don't want to have all these tires unless you know that you're going to have a puller that's right there with you, and you guys have stepped in. You're starting to manufacture pulling tires.
Yeah, we started this process, seems like a very long time ago. It's actually been short. About 2 years ago is when we kind of got the first idea to get into the pulling tire thing. And for us, it's just a great way to support our brand. The majority of the people that are going to be here are involved in the agricultural world in some facet. Most of them be farmers there, that was a really good point for us to reach our end audience and the people that we want essentially to buy our tractor tires, but then also within the company, there's several of us that have grown up around the sport, and when the idea first got brought up, we were pretty excited and really pushed for it. So that's kind of how that come about.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things that's very unique, in my opinion, about the Mitas tire, it intrigued me the very first time that I walked through the building at an indoor tractor pull in Gordyville in Gifford, Illinois, and I looked at you and I said, it's a slick. It looks like a Top Fuel dragster would run it. What inspired that sort of mentality to come to production, or in the future in production? Right now, everything's in sort of the testing phase, but what sort of inspired the slick?
Well, as you can see, it kind of looks like something John Force is going to go put on his dragster this weekend. But essentially, for the longest time, there's only been one game in town in this business, and that'd be the Firestone. And theirs comes pre-cut, and you can't really try different things. Where we don't really know what's the magic cut, what's the magic weight, what kind of lug. So where with our product, it gives the guys the ability to try some different things, or there's several guys that have multiple sets of tires, and depending on what track they're going to, they throw on a different set. Well, instead of having multiple sets of the same tire, they can have them cut different ways or things like that. Just gives the ability to change some things and try some new things, and I think it'll be pretty exciting for the pulling world to be able to guys kind of put their own stamp on their tires. So
absolutely, yeah, it's very unique in this aspect of the sport. You don't see it very often, and I know some of the tire cutters are getting used to the idea of hearing about bringing a Mitas tire to them. Let's talk about where you're at currently in the process of bringing these tires to the opportunity to be sold to the pullers. I mean, we've got some pullers standing out here. They might very well be interested in talking to you about purchasing some.
Currently, we're still in the testing phases. We've had two gentlemen run them for us a couple times here throughout the year. Mr. Jeff Hurt with the Runnin' Bear, and then Wayne Bunnage with the Bunnage Family Modified there have put some on. And then most recently here, either this weekend or hopefully, if not this weekend, in Greenville, Ohio next week, Brian Schrammick with the Young Blood. Brian and Braden are going to put them on and try them. So we're still in the testing phases. One thing that's really cool about our company, and I guess one thing to us that work within it, at times it takes it a little longer than what we would like, but I know working for our company, we're not going to put something out there and release it for the public to buy until we 100% know that we've got the right fit and we've got the tire that can be the best. So we're still in the testing phases, but it's moving along very, very well, and hopefully sooner than later, but we're definitely going to make sure we have the tire where we want it, and make sure that we know we're able to go out and compete, and not only compete but win before we release.
Absolutely, and the last thing I'll have you tell these folks is where can they learn more about Mitas, and are there some things that are on the website that might engage them a little bit further and teach them a little bit more even about the history and the process of the tire itself?
For sure. We have lots of different avenues. First of all, go on to milesbeyond300.com. He issued a press release about our partnership, and that does a pretty good job of summing up our history and things like that. And then also our website, www.mitasag.com, has kind of the background of our ag tires and stuff like that. And for most of you here, farmers and stuff that are going to be going to the farm shows coming up, we're going to be about every one of them. So stop by, see us at the booth. I will be around here all weekend. Don't ever hesitate. Stop by, stop me. I'd love to talk to you all, or come see us at the farm shows, or get on either of the websites and find out more information about us.
Well, I asked you, of course, to bring some t-shirts and hats. I'm going to bring Nick back up and let him give us an update of where we stand as we start to work through the process of getting our Make-A-Wish helmet wrapped. And while we do that, maybe you can make your way out that way and pass some t-shirts and hats out for me. Of course, thank you so much, first of all, for the idea of bringing Mitas to the website, and two, for being here and helping to interact with the fans and share a little bit more.
No problem, Miles. We really appreciate everything you do, and pretty excited to be on board. And not only am I in the pulling world from this side of things, but also my family. We run a light pro stock, and what you do for this sport is just simply second to none. So we really appreciate you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And folks, please, If you have questions, you want to learn anything about Mitas, make sure that you talk to Bryce, or Jeff will be here shortly, of course, from Mitas. He's got a stack of t-shirts. If you're interested in one, please make sure you let him know. He'll make his way around. We're going to bring Nick back up to the stage and let Nick do a little bit more of a discussion as to what we're doing now, because we're moving into a different phase of construction, here with our helmet.
So Miles, as you can see, we actually got the top crown actually put on. It's got the Make-A-Wish logo and just a really nice starry background that they're notorious for. And then on the front, on the chin area, we actually have the National Tractor Pulling Championship logo that you actually see branded everywhere around the stadium. Because truck and tractor pulling is such a grassroots Americana type event, we actually went ahead with the American flag. What we're going to do is we're actually going to bring this chin portion all the way around to the back, and we're actually going to create a seam in the back, but that's going to tie the entire design together. So in about 20 more minutes, we should have this thing pretty much done, and we'll be bolting it back together with the visor and everything ready to go.
Yeah, so for the folks that are out here getting t-shirts and certainly those of you that are watching at home, we probably will not have this one completed by the time that we get done with this session. I probably should have brought you up first before I brought Mr. Kester up, because I could have guaranteed you we were going to talk a little while. Larry is certainly a very, very involved person in the sport, and I love chatting with him, but probably should have started with you to let you get started a little bit quicker with the helmet. But we'll have that helmet on display right here. Nick is going to wrap a second helmet for me a little bit later this afternoon. But before you step away, you're going to have to go wrap a mini modified tractor right here on site as well, and that's certainly an unfortunate scenario as to what inspired that or why it occurred. But let's talk a little bit about just how long it might take you to do that, and if there is somebody that's not here but maybe watching online through NTPA's live stream, how do they find you, and how can they work on trying to get a quote for their machine?
Actually, Miles, that's a very good question. The best thing to do is if you log on to Miles Beyond 300, you can actually see our banner is actually going to be an advertisement on the side. You can click that, you can go to our website. We got our phone number, our contact information. If not, I mean, you can go to motorcitywraps.com. And typically what happens is the initial contact phase, we'll go ahead and set up an estimate. We'll get you guys rolling. We'll get some artwork sent out to you guys, and then once you're happy with that, we go ahead and print everything out, and we come to you. And that seems to be the biggest thing that everybody loves, is I actually come to their shop, I'll actually open the garage door, I'll end up pretty much turning the lights off at the end of the night while they've gone to bed, and then at that point, your machine's ready to go. But last week, out in Wisconsin, Rick Peters of the Buckeye Special, he actually had a pretty unfortunate situation happen. He had a tire that went ahead and it blew apart, and it actually mangled his entire rear wing on his mini modified. So I've actually, because I follow the sport, I actually see Miles Beyond 300, I see all the updates on Facebook. I saw Rick mangled his fenders, so I went ahead Sunday night, I went ahead and printed some new fenders, and I told Rick I'll meet him down here, and it's going to take about 2 hours after the road show, but I'm going to go ahead and get him right as it rained.
Well, it's unfortunate that that occurred, especially because you had just wrapped that tractor about a month and a half, 2 months ago as a debut, and a little bit of a throwback to his 1986, 1987 scheme that he ran when he was pulling with the mini modified class. So he really didn't get to enjoy it very much before he got out there and unfortunately experienced the damage.
You know, and that's one of the good things, though, because with being involved with truck and tractor pulling, and I watch what you guys do, and I always take pride in my work. So when I see something like that happen, I go ahead and I get new panels printed, and I told Rick, I said, let's go ahead and just rewrap the whole tractor. I said, don't worry about trying to save parts. I said, that's the worst. I said, I don't want to scab something together. I said, let's go ahead, we'll make it perfect, we'll make it brand new. I said, you know what, I'll be in the area, you know, and I'm only about an hour away, so it worked out.
Well, we will let you get back to work. Again, I thank you so much for supporting the website. You're one of the early adopters of being a sponsor of my webpage. You give me your time. You have helped me with wrapping pulling vehicles that we've worked to sponsor. I have been in awe of your ability to wrap a vehicle and make it as tightly and clean as it can be. And certainly it means a lot that you're here, and thank you for helping me with the Make-A-Wish helmet, and then again with the themed helmet a little bit later on.
No problem, Miles. Thank you again for the Roadshow.
Absolutely, and folks, give him again a nice round of applause. Nick Zook from Motor City Wraps. He's going to finish up that helmet. As I said, we'll have it on display right up here and have it for you to look at a little bit closer a little bit later. And we're getting ready to wrap things things up with this first session, certainly please come back. We have a great lineup of people that are going to be coming to speak a little bit later on. Of course, after that first session, we'll have the team of Jesse Petro and Joey Frazier from the two-wheel drive class. Ryan Walters is going to be here. Those of you that don't know who Ryan is, Ryan just debuted a brand new Massey Ferguson, of course with a Carlton Coke prepared V8 motor, and then he will also be here. We'll have Brent Payne from Gene's Machine Shop, and also the driver of the Gallup machine out of the Earl Wells team. They'll be here with us this afternoon. We're going to start around 5:45. We'll pass out some more t-shirts, of course. I'm going to get with my mother in the back and find out who all have signed up and see if we can't give a few door prizes away. But for the short term, of course, thank you so very much for being here. We hope that you'll come back and continue to enjoy, as we have not just today. Make sure you come back tomorrow. Tomorrow morning we start things off with our Rusty Tailgate visit. So there's going to be some of the legends of the sport here with us. Have them up on stage. We'll discuss some of what the vehicles that you're seeing sitting around within the museum. And certainly that'll be a chance for you to learn a little bit more about the history, not only of the sport of pulling, but some of the past 49 years of competition that have been going on here in pulling at Pull Town, USA, and Northwest Ohio Tractor Pullers do a fantastic job of putting this event on. It's that time of year now where we're starting to prepare for the 50th anniversary, and so if there's any ideas, suggestions, or stories that you might be interested in sharing with the folks here at Pull Town, I want you to go to info@pulltown.com, and send your suggestion in or your story. They're working on putting together a compilation of those stories that we can utilize for the 50th. That'll be, of course, next year, and a whole bunch of new things coming your way. So for those of you that are online and streaming there, of course, thank you so much to the NTPA and their support on all my sponsors. The side of my website, please make sure you are patrons of all of those folks, as I could not do it without them. Later on this afternoon, we will have some more sponsorship engagement as we talk with Gene's Machine Shop and Brent Payne, as he is a competitor as well. We thank Taylor Motorsports Products out of California, Hart's Diesel. We also thank Full Pull Motorsports and Bob Barbie and his wife, and Nick, of course, of Motor City Wraps, and there's just a whole list of folks. Let's Go Pulling, and John Murray has been a supporter this year as well with a segment of the Roadshow. So I'm going to sign off for those folks online. I'm going to grab the basket. We're going to do some door prizes. I got a few sitting right up front here. We'll probably give 3 or 4 of those away, and then we'll have another batch of those. Of course, some of these that are staying down there, we'll keep them down in front, but I've got some more in the back that I haven't even pulled out yet. So thanks again, folks, for logging on. Those of you that are here that have put a ticket in the basket, we'll draw those now.